this Wednesday morning for our next Wednesday wisdom session. Guys, this is actually the first one that I've personally done. I know that our good friends out there, Coach Blair, Coach Dave, Coach Jeffrey Nance, they've been bringing some really, really strong Word Wednesday sessions for quite some time now. But again, I'm excited to get to be here myself and to get to just kind of talk with you guys a little bit in a slightly different context, at least than what I'm used to. So, obviously, one of the big differences between me and some of those other guys, Coach Jeffrey, Coach Dave, Coach Blair, is, those guys, they're some of our investment advisor reps here at Tradeway. They're our coaches. They do a lot of stock trading, discussion, education, teaching for our Tradeway students out there. I'm actually our precious metals operations manager. So my main focus here at Tradeway is helping out our students with their precious metals investments. So what I was thinking about doing for today's session is kind of tie in a little bit of something that I just finished talking about with a really special group of precious metals investors. Just last weekend, I taught our full Tradeway precious metals course. It's called Protect Your Future. Full 2-day course. And I had a great group of students on there with me learning some really cool stuff relevant to precious metals investing. But the way that I started the event, the way I wanted to set the tone was talking about, what about this concept of being prepared for just about anything that could happen, regardless of the scenario, like regardless of what scenario you're looking at, whether that be stock trading or precious metals investing, things that could happen around the world, around the country that could affect those things for us. And so, very start of the event, I wanted to set the tone with some biblical reasons, some biblical backing behind this concept of how important it is to be prepared. Because listen, guys, again, in the context of what I'm used to working on every day with students, with investors across the country, is this, precious metals, the idea of precious metals investing, and within that is a lot of fear-induced urgency. Is one of the things I like to call it. I really, it's a very prevalent thing in the precious metals industry. Fear-induced urgency, tapping into people's anxieties, possibly their fears, to try to get them to buy metals fast, and in some cases, what they don't need. And so, one of the biggest things behind our precious metals education is totally eliminating the fear-induced urgency, replacing it with a sense of preparedness. So, in other words, how can I approach my metals investing in a sense that's where I'm not, worried about my anxieties or my emotions driving the investments, but rather my knowledge of the market, and in a way that will prepare me and my family for just about anything. So again, that context, I shared some scripture, and I'm actually going to share a little bit of that scripture with you guys right now, but I'm going to take it even a little bit further than I did even on my precious metals event, because again, this is a more broad context here on this Facebook Live with you guys where, we're not just talking about precious metals. This could be stock trading. This could be business in general. This could be life in general. So one of the several scriptures I brought forth on that event was Proverbs chapter 30. And I know a lot of us are familiar with this passage, but again, in the context of trading, business, things like that, it's so, it's so relevant. So this is Proverbs chapter 30, 25 through 28. Now, the very first one here, verse 25, the ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their meat in the summer. And that was one of the ones that we hit really strong on the Precious Metals event. And the reason is because the Hebrew word there for prepare, it is to set up. So it's this concept of it's the wisdom behind preparing for what is to come, the season to come, by getting set up early. So you guys can imagine, in the context of precious metals investing, we're talking about buying gold, buying silver before you actually need it, like as far as to fulfill your immediate term needs, but you're doing it so that it fulfills those long-term needs that are to road, so that you're not left, flat-footed, if you will, when some crazy times come. And by crazy times, I mean stuff that just happened. So think about the beginning of the pandemic about a year ago this month. Think about the great spike in silver at the beginning of February. These were things that hit the precious metals market and obviously in the case of the pandemic, so hard, the stock market so hard that it left a lot of investors trying to grab what they could really fast. And there's that fear-induced urgency. How do we avoid that? It's about being prepared, being set up before the season is actually there. So that's verse 25. It goes on. Verse 26 says, the conies are but a feeble folk, yet make their houses in the rocks. So what's the wisdom there? It's this concept of preparing or building a strong fortress. And so how can we bring that into the concept of into the context of precious metals investing or stock trading? Think of the comparisons here: a bird's nest versus a home surrounded by rocks. Think about what the coney does versus so many other animals out there as far as protecting himself. So what is our fortress in the sense of being financially prepared for anything? Well, in the case of precious metals, think about paper money versus gold or silver. We just finished talking about this for 2 full days last weekend, but the just inherent fragility, the inherent volatility, if you will, behind paper money, the fact that it's lost so much value, it's not backed by anything real or physical, I should say. It's only backed by promises and faith and credit. And so that versus gold and silver that has a 10,000 year historical precedent, intrinsic value, and literally biblical value as well, in the sense that God told us gold and silver are good. And when he said that in Genesis chapter 2, the word good there literally means wealth or prosperity. Yet this was before Adam and Eve even needed the concept of wealth, prosperity, or money. And so it's been there from the beginning just for us to protect ourselves in that sense. So, you could use it in that context pretty easily. And then in the sense of stock trading, again, guys, just consider, being prepared, setting aside, being able to get some skill sets that give you the potential to possibly grow your wealth, and setting some of that aside so that you have more to fall back on potentially if times do get a little strange. So you could apply verse 26 in Proverbs 30 there to that as well. And then verse 27 says, the locusts have no king, yet they go forth, all of them by bands. The wisdom here is preparing by leveraging many other people. Think about, in our earliest education at Tradeway, we're talking step 1, start your journey. Some of our introductory webinars, some of our introductory materials, we talk about leveraging the minds, the money, the ideas of people all around the world. But think about your stock trading for a second. Who are the people that we can leverage so that we can take advantage of their genius, of their knowledge, their know-how? It's Wall Street. So again, just like the locusts, yet they have no leader, they can go forth, all of them by bands. It's talking about sticking together in that context, but also leveraging the power of other people to fulfill your objectives, fulfill your needs. So for us, think about the minds, the money, and the ideas of people on Wall Street, and the potential that brings us to leverage that for our own benefits, for our own objectives. And you could say the same thing about the precious metals industry as well. And getting a proper education, knowing how to leverage the massive volatility that could come along with that as well. Once again, look at the pandemic, look at the silver spike of February. How can we take advantage of times like that? And so that certainly comes into play there. And then verse 28, it says, the spider taketh hold her hands and is in king's palaces. So this one is really interesting, because think about the wisdom here. What is the spider doing? What she's doing is, it could take a king and no matter how large of a group of servants, people he has doing his instructions, doing his bidding, it could take 5-10 years to build a palace worthy of a king. Yet it takes a spider 5 hours to build a web inside of the palace and live there. So what did the spider just effectively do? She leveraged or utilized the principle of time compression, something we talk about a lot at Tradeway. Hanging around people who already know how to do what you're wanting to do to move your family forward financially. The Bible talks a lot about wisdom of having instructors. So we can use this as an example of, our objectives are to have a better life, whether in this context financially. So again, what do we do? Do we need to go out there, start from scratch and try to try to see where it takes us? No, actually what we can do is we can utilize something called time compression, and we can hang around people that know exactly what they're doing and benefit from their advancements, their knowledge, their wisdom. And just like the spider who can weave her web within a palace that may have taken a decade to build, worthy of a king, can now make her web in just a few hours and live in that palace herself. So again, guys, we can take, it's about leveraging the time, the minds, the knowledge of others. It's about hanging around people that know exactly what they're doing and who have been in the industries that we're interested in the longest, and utilizing that to our benefit in the sense of advancing our personal objectives for us and our family, bringing on an individual level. And so those are the kind of principles we can take from this Proverbs passage here and apply it to just about any part of life. But certainly we could do that with our stock trading, with our precious metals investing, and things like that as well. And so listen, guys, the Bible, it talks about everything from proper diversification to, how to apply business principles to life. It's endless in its amount of instruction that it can give us for learning more and more about, this biblical standard, if you will, for how to approach our finances. And guess what? Even though that's there for all of us to go and utilize, to learn and read whenever we can, it's new. It can be new to a lot of people. So it permeates everything that Tradeway does, because we understand that everything we can benefit from in the world of business, in the world of finance, at some point, it somehow came from the Bible. It doesn't matter how secular you want to make the specific thing you're talking about. Could be the stock market, whatever it may be. At some point, the concepts that built the kind of leverage that markets like that have to offer came from the Bible in the right way to do it. And any successful business concept that humans, the human race, have been able to advance and benefit from came from the Bible. And, even my dad getting his MBA from Baylor University back in the 70s, in business school, they talked about the Protestant ethic. They talked about business concepts that were like explicitly, they explicitly talked about their original, where they came from, their original source. That is the Bible. And that's why David Mitchell and his team always bring a biblical perspective and always want to bring as much of those business concepts from the Bible to the education we're providing you guys as possible. But guess what, guys? Coming up pretty soon, very beginning of April, we actually have something that we think will provide you guys an opportunity to learn those kinds of concepts in a very active stock trading setting. We actually have our next trading boot camp right around the corner. It's our spring trading boot camp. And listen, guys, this is extremely active. This is 4 full days with our Tradeway coaches walking you through real-time stock setups, getting your stock accounts set up, your brokerage account set up, coaching you through very practical, real-time stock trading methods, strategies, and education. For those of you who have some past education with Tradeway, this is exactly the kind of thing to take what you learned, whether that be historical examples and practical education, and applying them to real-time scenarios. If you don't have any experience with Tradeway, you haven't done any of our education yet, guess what? You can still go through our boot camp and still learn how to effectively navigate the stock market in a real-time setting and figure out how it or what it could possibly do for you and your family. So check out the link on your screen there. I'm also putting it in the chat box so that you guys can just click on it and read more about it. There's a video in there. Go watch that video. Click on the link, watch the video on everything about boot camp, and then right below the video it has all the bullet points for what you're going to be getting with the Tradeway Spring Boot Camp. So listen, guys, I hope that you enjoyed some of of what we talked about today on Word Wednesday. Of course, that Proverbs chapter 30 passage is so prevalent, regardless of what area in life you want to learn from those unbelievable examples we have in everyday life, whether it be the spider, the ant, the coney, or the locust. You can apply those principles and how they leveraged others, or how they made a point to be prepared, or how they made a point to wait for the right season to execute whatever it may be, like the spider waiting for the palace worthy of a king to be built so that she could then make her home and go from there. And so check out that passage again, and go see what areas of life you can apply it to. You can certainly do it in the world of finance, because it's something we talk about a lot, but go read that passage and see what other parts of life you can apply those concepts to, ways to leverage others to get to your desired destination, fulfilling your objectives for you and your family. It's been a blast being with you guys today. If you like what you heard, please like and share this video today. Leave a comment if you like. And myself and our team are going to be there to help you guys out, answer your questions, and just be there for y'all in every way that we can. We would love for you guys to check out our spring trading boot camp. Click the link in the comments right now, and you will be able to go read all about it, watch a video about it, learn more about it, see if it's right for you. And then if so, get ready to sign up for it, guys. It's coming up early April. It's going to be a blast. Our coaches are ready and can't wait to impart more of their knowledge and wisdom onto you guys so that you can take it, potentially benefit you and your family with it yourself. And so we'd love for that to be the case for you. Thanks for being with me again today, guys, and hope to hear from you again soon. So keep an eye out for our next Facebook Live. I believe that will be tomorrow, Stock Talk Thursday. And just keep commenting and sharing our videos as much as they are helpful to you guys. Like and share so that your friends and family can benefit from them as well. So I'll see you guys next time. Hope you have a great day. And we'll be praying for all of you guys. We always pray for our students, for their success, and we're going to be there to support you in any way that we can. So always keep that in mind, and we'll see you next time.